9 starts with First Alert Weather.
Welcome to this digital edition of First at 9, which starts with First Alert meteorologist Tania Michelle, who has a change in your forecast. Tania?
Yeah, listen, Steve, we're tracking some really cold rain and it's really chilly outside. Any plans tonight? Hopefully you're going to bed and getting up for work tomorrow or taking your kids to bed to go to school tomorrow morning. But either way, tonight and tomorrow, you will want the sweaters and the jackets. This cold rain is continuing to develop across our area. Much of the wet weather in West Alabama right now, areas west of I-65, Tuscaloosa, Walker County, all the way down to Sumter, Greene, Hale County. Some showers starting to develop on and along I-59 and I-20 for some of our eastern counties. Temperatures in the 50s, but it feels chilly. Let's zoom in right here. You can see where all the wet weather is. A better look at that. More rain on the way. So within the next 2 hours or so, all that wet weather further out to our west will continue to move into our area overnight tonight into your Wednesday morning. And then we're tracking some more wet weather as we approach your Wednesday. The morning, the afternoon, and the evening rounds of wet weather. It's going to be a really cold and wet day. So again, you'll want the layers. Now, after that, cooler air and even drier air settles in, and we have a first low weather day in effect for Friday for our first threat of frost of the season. We'll be breaking that down, plus giving you updates on Hurricane Melissa right here in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Tania. Breaking First at 9, a judge has scheduled a preliminary hearing for the man accused of killing high school senior Kimber Mills and hurting 3 others. Stephen Whitehead's preliminary hearing is scheduled for December 2nd. He's charged with murder and attempted murder for the shooting at a bonfire party earlier this month in Pinson. Mills was a senior at Cleveland High School. She was just 18 years old. New tonight, a WBRC safety check. Halloween just 3 days away, and Airbnb is making sure those spooky parties are not getting out of hand at their properties. Your reporter Lauren Harkson on your side tonight with a look at how the company is doing that. Lauren, so how does this work?
Well, Steve, this is the 5th year Airbnb has used anti-party technology, and they say it significantly decreases the likelihood of a party getting out of hand in your neighborhood.
During Halloween specifically, we had 130 different bookings blocked on Airbnb.
130 Halloween parties potentially avoided here in the Magic City last year. Airbnb's anti-party technology back in place again for 2025.
We have dealt with some parties in the past, but I'm very thankful for the technology that helps prevent these parties because there's only so much you can do as a host.
Harold Collins is a local realtor and owns a dozen short-term rental properties in central Alabama.
Early on, we may try to take every booking we can, but the more seasoned you get, you don't want to deal with those parties, the repercussions of what happens to the property itself, and more importantly, if it's a disturbance to the neighbors. You don't want either of those to happen, and it takes up more time, energy, effort, and money than usually what you're going to make from the booking.
As Airbnb explains, the tech uses machine learning to help prevent potentially higher risk bookings of entire home listings.
So we're looking at what's the length of the stay first and foremost. Is this a 1 or 2 night stay? The proximity of the location to the person who's making the reservation, the type of booking. Is this a 10, 12 bedroom home?
Andy Gonzalez says they use over 100 different factors. And if your booking is flagged, you'll be blocked from the reservation.
We have had that happen with some of our properties, and they said, hey, for these reasons, we think they are trying to host a party and we're not allowing them to book. We're like, whew, thank you, that's great. Catastrophe avoided.
Since we've started this anti-party campaign globally, we've seen a 54% decrease in parties globally.
Fewer parties in order to keep your neighborhood peaceful, even during the holidays. Gonzalez says if you live near an Airbnb that is consistently problematic, there is a way to report the home online through their neighborhood portal page. I'll be sure to share a link on our WBRC News app. Steve.
Thanks, Lauren. Developing news from East Alabama. 2 17-year-olds facing charges tonight tied to a shooting at a Little Caesars in Anniston. Police tell us that shooting resulted from a fight between employees and the teenagers. Surveillance video that our team watched shows the 2 teenagers enter the lobby area, with one of them going behind the counter immediately and punching an employee. Shortly after that, the shooting begins. One employee was shot.
No, I do not feel comfortable coming back to work after something like that happened because that was my best friend. I feel like it should never happen at work, pulling up to somebody's job, doing that. I feel like you could have handled it outside, even a fight. Like, I feel like it should never happen at work.
One of the teenagers surrendered to police today. He's been charged as an adult with assault. Authorities have identified the other teenager whose charges they say will go through juvenile court. We're still working to learn more about the person arrested today for allegedly planning attacks on synagogues throughout the state. The suspect, who has not been identified, was arrested at a home in Needham in Choctaw County. Investigators say they found weapons, a suitcase full of ammunition, body armor, and other items. The Sheriff's Department says further investigation revealed that the person did not intend to be taken alive and may also have been planning attacks on public figures. Through tonight, Governor Kay Ivey is considering changing the way you buy and drink alcohol throughout our state, especially during events. The governor is asking the Alcohol Beverage Control Board to review laws and make recommendations to ensure safety following this month's mass shooting in downtown Montgomery. The board sent a letter today with proposals including prohibiting package stores from selling products like ice and cups and limiting the amount of alcohol special retail license holders can sell for off-premise consumption. The board also proposed several ideas for the legislature, including curfews for minors in areas with entertainment districts and allowing the state to suspend or terminate an entertainment district if it does not follow public safety standards. The government shutdown not showing any signs of abating anytime soon. The Senate failing for the 13th time today to pass a funding bill. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers, meanwhile, are not being paid because of the shutdown. Despite this, Vice President J.D. Vance says that troops will be paid on Friday. Now, more than 750,000 people in our state will not get food assistance SNAP benefits this week because of the shutdown. Now, Senate Democrats are calling on Governor Ivey to hold a special session to fund SNAP. The state political correspondent Jessica Umbro explains.
Inaction is not an option right now.
Democratic Senator Robert Stewart says the caucus sent Governor Ivey the letter on Monday, calling for a special session to discuss how to make sure Alabamians who need SNAP assistance get it.
We're open as a caucus to work with the governor to ensure that we're keeping these families fed.
Senator Stewart says the caucus is worried about how the 750,000 Alabamians who use SNAP will be impacted, and that concern goes beyond individuals and families. It's also for the grocery stores and locally owned businesses that they say will take a hit.
We need to come together as a state and not let Washington politics dictate and heavily influence us taking care of Alabamians.
As the government shutdown is days away from the 1 month mark and just a few days away from SNAP benefits being suspended for the time being, Senator Stewart says they're also calling on people to help one another if they're able.
Community stands in the gap until the government comes up with the solutions.
Leaders telling us today that 70,000 people in Birmingham could lose their SNAP benefits. Right now, the Community Food Bank of Central Alabama wants people to know that they have food available and they are ready to help, even as those resources are being stretched thin. The food bank says the organization lost about 3 million pounds of food earlier this year, equal to roughly 2.5 million meals. That loss adds more pressure on them as the need continues to grow.
There's a lot of added pressure. So folks that have SNAP benefits, maybe not receiving their benefits, it is an issue. Those folks will need our services. Not to mention the 16,000 federal employees that live and work in our 12-county footprint also need our help right now. So it's a lot of pressure on the food bank and the charitable food system. But it's really important to know that the food bank is here.
The food bank also looking for volunteers. We have information on how you can help on our WBRC News app. The 84th Magic City Classic officially in the books, and from sold-out crowds to massive economic impact, organizers say this year could be one of the biggest yet. Your reporter James Giles live tonight after talking with the executive director of the Classic. And James, what is he saying about the numbers?
Well, Steve, Executive Director Perrin King of the Magic City Classic presented by Amazon and Coca-Cola says he's trying to figure out a way to say thank you 69,000 times. That's how many people were in attendance at Saturday's game. He says the goal now is to build on that momentum with the next milestone coming up, its 85th year. Now, the final crowd total, including tailgaters and the event's full economic impact, will take some time to calculate, but King expects those numbers to reach well into the millions.
Just understanding what the hotel volume was and seeing how difficult it was in traffic and understanding that restaurants were booked up and, all of the other venues that, that kind of house, food celebrations, all the other things were all on wait. So I think we're really going to go north of 25 million.
Again, those final numbers are going to take some time to come in, but for context, a City of Birmingham study from last year's Classic found that the Magic City Classic generated $26 million for the state, with $20 million of those dollars staying in the city of Birmingham. Your reporter in Birmingham, James Giles, WBRC 6 News, on your side.
We're looking at some of the damage and flooding across Jamaica after Hurricane Melissa made landfall as a Category 5 storm. The storm is considered one of the strongest ever recorded. We're already getting reports of damage to homes, schools, and hospitals. There's also a risk of powerful storm surge and landslides. And as you can imagine, Americans visiting Jamaica were very anxious ahead of the storm, while also praying for those who live there.
The anxiety of the waiting for it, when's it going to happen, not being able to sleep and unsure if we're going to have power, if we're going to be able to reach our families, those types of things. And concern for the people that live here as well.
Cuba, Turks and Caicos, and other islands are also in the storm's path. Let's check in now with Tania to get the latest on that storm. Tania?
Yes, Steve, right now, Hurricane Melissa is currently a Category 3 storm, but we're expecting some strengthening with the system. You can see the eye is now back over open water, but it is barreling towards Cuba. We're going to see similar impacts to Cuba, and it will likely make landfall across Cuba as a Category 4. So again, some re-strengthening with this system. For us here at home, well, we are almost seeing widespread wet weather, light rain showers across the area. More of this is going to be filling in overnight tonight into your Wednesday. But here we are at your 9 o'clock hour. Most of the wet weather is filling into West Alabama currently. Some light, steady rainfall, maybe some moderate downpours for further down southwest central Alabama in Sumter County. But we've watched that wet weather move in. Looks like some light rain over towards the Hamilton area as well. We're going to expect more on and off showers throughout your Wednesday. And matter of fact, Wednesday is going to be a really cold, wet, and breezy day. There will be a slight wind chill in the air with that slight breeze around. Early tomorrow morning, temperatures in the 50s, and we're actually going to struggle to reach above 45 and even 50 degrees for your afternoon high tomorrow because of the clouds and the wet weather. So this is 8 a.m. temperatures in the 50s. Watch the rain. It's starting to sweep across their area, moving into East Alabama for late Wednesday morning. But there's another round of some wet weather that will fill in. And you can see the temperatures don't really exceed 55 at all. Matter of fact, many areas may really struggle to even hit 50 degrees tomorrow, but we just put 55 as your afternoon high. This is us at 5 p.m. More wet weather keeping us pretty steady with our temperatures, and those clouds will linger. So again, a breezy, a cold, and a very cloudy middle of your week. Now, when can you expect the sun to come back out? Well, the start of your Thursday actually looks pretty wet. And there could be some passing showers and some clouds as well. We'll start to see some breaks in the clouds for the second half of your Thursday, though, starting with West Alabama and then gradual clearing for our eastern counties as we approach your Thursday evening. But again, a very cool and cloudy, pretty wet start to your day on Thursday as well. Sunshine returns for us the end of the week just in time for your Halloween festivities, trunk or treating, trick or treating, whatever you're doing. Well, the conditions don't look bad. We'll have early morning temperatures in the 30s, though, so a very cold start. But the afternoon, temperatures will warm into the 60s. We're looking at some more sunshine around for your Halloween. And then as you're getting out and about, gathering your candy with your kiddos, temperatures will be in the 50s. So dry, but still pretty chilly. I still recommend the sweater and the jacket. Now looking ahead to the weekend, we're looking dry Saturday, but Sunday, another disturbance could move through, bringing us a few showers. And that's going to happen just in time for our clocks to change. Daylight saving time is actually going to end as we approach your Sunday. So don't forget to adjust those clocks. And then we're looking at some moisture lingering around for us early next week, Monday and Tuesday. Now, the one thing to note that those mornings still look cold through early next week with temperatures starting off in the low 40s and those highs in the 60s.
Wow, that morning after Halloween, 38.
Yeah, Halloween morning's cold too, like 37. Friday morning looks like our coldest morning of this week.
So
first alert for frost.
I could dress up as Mr. Freeze.
You can. I'll be Mrs. Warm because, we gotta be warm. Coats, gloves.
We'll make it work. Thank you for joining us for this digital edition of First at 9. We've got more news coming up after Game 4 of the World Series.